Every single difficult conversation you have avoided at work because you did not know what to say in English has cost you something: respect, progress, money, or peace of mind. Today, you are going to learn the exact authentic phrases that let you handle the hardest workplace conversations in English without sounding aggressive, without sounding weak, and without damaging the relationships you have worked hard to build. Welcome to English Through Stories. I'm Sarah. This is our authentic English versus textbook English series, and today we are going somewhere that makes almost every English learner deeply uncomfortable, difficult conversations at work. We are covering 4 specific scenarios that come up in almost every professional environment: raising a problem with a colleague, pushing back on your boss, addressing a mistake someone else made, and setting boundaries around your workload. Let's get straight into it. Our first scenario is raising a problem with a colleague. Something has gone wrong. Maybe a colleague missed a deadline that affected your work. Maybe they said something in a meeting that undermined you. Maybe there is a tension building between you and someone on your team, and you can feel it affecting the work. You need to say something, and you need to say it in a way that resolves the situation rather than escalating it. Here is what textbook English gives you. I am not happy with your work. You missed the deadline. This caused problems for me. You need to do better. Every sentence is grammatically correct. Every sentence is also a grenade. Saying I'm not happy with your work to a colleague in direct, blunt language is perceived in most English-speaking professional cultures as an attack, not a conversation. It puts the other person immediately on the defensive. And a defensive person does not listen, does not reflect, and does not change. They just protect themselves. Here is the authentic version of the same conversation. Hey, do you have 5 minutes? I wanted to have a quick chat about something. So I just wanted to flag something because I think there might have been a bit of a miscommunication somewhere along the way. The report I was waiting on from you didn't come through by Thursday, and it meant I missed my own deadline with the client. I'm not trying to make a big deal of it. I just wanted to mention it so we can make sure it doesn't happen again. Is everything okay on your end? Let me break down what made that work. The opening, do you have 5 minutes, creates consent. You are not ambushing someone at their desk. You are asking for their time and attention before delivering difficult news. This small step changes the entire dynamic of the conversation. The phrase, I wanted to have a quick chat, signals low stakes, even if the stakes are not actually that low. Quick chat tells the other person, this is not a formal disciplinary conversation. It is a human moment between colleagues. It lowers their defenses before you even get to the issue. There might have been a bit of a miscommunication somewhere along the way is one of the most powerful phrases in authentic professional English. It names the problem without assigning blame. It creates space for the other person to explain themselves. And the vague somewhere along the way suggests you are genuinely open to hearing their side rather than having already decided they are wrong. The phrase, I'm not trying to make a big deal of it, is critical. It signals intention. It tells the other person that your goal is resolution, not punishment. In authentic professional English, stating your positive intention explicitly before delivering difficult feedback almost always produces a better outcome than leading with the feedback itself. And the closing question is, everything okay on your end turns the conversation toward them. It opens the door for them to explain a reason you might not know about. Maybe they had a personal crisis that week. Maybe they were waiting on information from someone else. Asking is everything okay transforms you from someone raising a complaint into someone who genuinely cares. That is the difference between authentic and textbook professional English. Here is your reflection question for this scenario. Think about a difficult conversation with a colleague that you have been putting off, or think about one you had in the past that did not go well. What did you say, or what did you want to say? And looking at the authentic language we just covered, what one phrase would have changed everything? Write it in the comments. Being specific about your real situation will help you remember this language when you need it most. Our second scenario is pushing back on your boss. Your boss has just asked you to do something you disagree with. Maybe it is a decision you think is wrong. Maybe it is an additional project that you genuinely do not have capacity for. Maybe it is feedback on your work that you believe is unfair. Whatever it is, you need to push back. And you need to do it without damaging the relationship or threatening your position. This is the scenario that terrifies English learners more than any other professional situation, because the power dynamic is real, and the textbook gives you nothing useful here. Textbook English says, I disagree with this decision. I do not have time for this extra work. I think your feedback is wrong. Again, not incorrect. But in a hierarchical professional relationship, this level of directness can read as insubordinate, disrespectful, or simply unaware of professional norms. And that perception can follow you for a long time. Here's the authentic version. So I really appreciate you sharing this with me, and I want to make sure I'm across everything properly. Could I just share a thought on this? I've been looking at the timeline and I'm a little concerned that if we add this project to what I'm currently carrying, the quality of everything might suffer rather than one thing being done really well. I want to make sure I'm delivering at the level you need me to. Would it be possible to either push one of the existing projects or bring someone else in to support? I'm absolutely committed to making this work. I just want to flag the risk so we can plan for it together. Let me break this down. I really appreciate you sharing this with me. This opener might feel overly polite to some learners, but it is strategically essential. It signals respect for the hierarchy. Before you challenge it, you are not being sycophantic. You are being professionally smart. Could I just share a thought on this is the authentic way to ask permission to push back? In authentic professional English, asking permission before challenging someone senior is not weakness. It is emotional intelligence. And most managers respond far better to someone who asks, could I share a thought? Than someone who launches directly into a counter argument. I'm a little concerned that is a beautifully calibrated, authentic phrase. Not, I think this is wrong, not, this will not work, just, I'm a little concerned that it names your worry without catastrophizing. It is specific enough to be taken seriously and soft enough to invite discussion rather than defensiveness. The phrase, the quality of everything might suffer, rather than one thing being done really well, reframes the pushback as something you are doing for the company, not for yourself. You're not saying, I do not want more work. You are saying, I want to deliver excellent work. And this is a risk to that. That reframe is everything in authentic professional pushback. I want to make sure I'm delivering at the level you need me to is a masterclass in authentic professional English. It places the concern squarely in terms of outcomes your boss cares about. Not your comfort, not your preferences, their outcomes. And I just want to flag the risk so we can plan for it together is the final authentic move. Flag the risk is professional vocabulary that signals seniority and strategic thinking so we can plan for it together invites collaboration rather than confrontation. Your boss is now a partner in solving the problem, not an opponent you are fighting. Here is your reflection question for this scenario. Think about a time your boss asked you to do something you disagreed with or did not have capacity for, and you said nothing. What stopped you from pushing back? Was it the language barrier? Was it fear of the relationship? Was it not knowing how to frame it? Comment below and tell me what the situation was and what you wish you had said. Because staying silent in those moments is a choice that costs you more than saying something ever would. Our third scenario is addressing a mistake someone else made. This is different from raising a problem with a colleague because the mistake has already happened. The deadline was missed. The document went out with errors. The client was told the wrong information. The damage is done. And now you need to address it without humiliating the person who made the mistake, without creating lasting resentment, and without letting the same thing happen again. Textbook English says you made a mistake. This was wrong. This caused problems. You should have checked before sending it. Direct, clear, and almost guaranteed to produce defensiveness, shame, or resentment in the person on the receiving end. Shame does not produce growth in professional environments. It produces people who hide their mistakes instead of fixing them. Here is the authentic version. Hey, do you have 2 minutes? So I just wanted to have a quick word about the Thompson proposal. I noticed there were a few figures in the final version that didn't match the brief we were working from. I know these things happen, especially when we're all under pressure, and I'm not at all looking to make a thing of it. What I do want to make sure is that we have a process in place so we can catch this kind of thing before it goes out next time. Have you got any thoughts on what might have caused the discrepancy? And is there anything I can do on my end to make the checking process easier? Let me break down why this is so powerful. I noticed there were a few figures that didn't match. Not you got the figures wrong, not there were errors in your work. The passive construction I noticed combined with didn't match makes the error a thing that happened rather than a character flaw the person possesses. This is the authentic professional way of naming a mistake without shaming the person who made it. I know these things happen, especially when we're all under pressure, is an empathy bridge. It says, I understand the context you were working in. It is not an excuse for the mistake. It is an acknowledgement of the human reality. And that acknowledgement makes everything that follows much easier to hear. I'm not at all looking to make a thing of it signals intention again. Just like in the first scenario, stating your positive intention explicitly before discussing the problem changes how the problem lands. You are not here to punish, you are here to prevent. Have you got any thoughts on what might have caused the discrepancy invites the person to participate in understanding the problem rather than simply receiving a judgment about it? This is authentic, collaborative, professional language. You are treating them as an intelligent adult who has useful insight into what went wrong. And is there anything I can do on my end to make the checking process easier? Is the final authentic move that most people never make. By asking what you can do to help, you are sharing ownership of the solution. You are saying this is our problem, not your problem. That framing produces loyalty, gratitude, and genuine improvement, whereas the textbook approach produces defensiveness and a desire to avoid you in future. Here's your reflection question for this scenario. Think about a time a colleague made a mistake that affected you or your team, and you either said nothing to avoid the awkwardness or said something that came out more harshly than you intended. What was the outcome of your choice? How did it affect the relationship and the working dynamic? And now that you have heard the authentic approach, how would you handle it differently? Comment below. These real stories are exactly what other learners need to hear. Our fourth and final scenario is setting boundaries around your workload. You are at capacity, your plate is full. You cannot take on one more thing without something else falling apart. But requests keep coming from your boss, from colleagues, from other teams. And you do not know how to say no in English without sounding unhelpful, uncommitted, or difficult. This is one of the most important professional English skills there is. And it is almost entirely absent from language learning materials. Textbook English says, I cannot do this. I am too busy. I do not have time. No, clear, direct. And in most English-speaking professional environments, perceived as a combination of unhelpful, inflexible, and not a team player. Saying I do not have time as a standalone response is one of the quickest ways to develop a reputation as someone who is difficult to work with, even if your workload is genuinely impossible. Here is the authentic version. I really want to help with this, and I want to make sure I can give it the attention it deserves. Honestly, right now, I'm at pretty much full capacity with the Henderson rollout and the quarterly reporting. If I took this on today, I'd be worried about the quality of all three. Could we look at the timing together? If it could move to next week, I could absolutely make it work. Or if it's urgent, I'm happy to flag up with the team and see if anyone has bandwidth I don't currently have. Let me break this down piece by piece. I really want to help with this is the authentic workload boundary opener. You are not saying no first. You are saying yes in spirit before explaining the constraint. This completely reframes the conversation. You are not a person who does not want to help. You are a person who wants to help well. I want to make sure I can give it the attention it deserves is brilliant because it positions your boundary as being in the other person's best interest. You are not protecting your time. You are protecting the quality of the work they care about. That reframe is the difference between textbook English and authentic professional English. I'm at pretty much full capacity is softer than I am too busy. Full capacity is professional vocabulary that implies a managed workload. Too busy implies disorganization or poor time management. The authentic phrase full capacity is taken more seriously and respected more by professional colleagues. If I took this on today, I'd be worried about the quality of all three is specific, honest, and outcome-focused. You are not saying, I do not want more work. You are saying, here is what will happen to the things you already need from me. If I take this on, that specificity is the authentic professional move. Could we look at the timing together? Is the authentic, collaborative pivot. Instead of no, you are offering a joint problem-solving moment. Maybe the deadline has flexibility you do not know about. Maybe they can give you one thing to deprioritize by asking to look at it together. You are staying in the conversation rather than shutting it down. And I'm happy to flag up with the team and see if anyone has bandwidth I don't currently have, is the authentic finishing move. By offering to find an alternative solution, you demonstrate that your concern is genuinely about the work getting done well rather than about avoiding effort. That distinction is everything in professional English. Here is your reflection question for this scenario. Think about the last time you said yes to something at work that you genuinely did not have capacity for. What made you say yes? Was it fear of being seen as unhelpful? Was it not having the language to explain your situation? Was it a cultural expectation around saying no to a senior colleague? Comment below and tell me what happened, because I believe that the inability to set authentic professional boundaries in English is one of the most significant hidden costs of being a non native speaker in an English speaking workplace. And recognizing it is the first step to changing it. Let me give you a complete summary of everything we covered today. For raising a problem with a colleague, ask for 5 minutes first. Use, there might have been a bit of a miscommunication somewhere. State your positive intention with, I'm not trying to make a big deal of it, and end with, is everything okay on your end, to open the door for their perspective. For pushing back on your boss, open with, I really appreciate you sharing this. Ask permission with, could I just share a thought? Use, I'm a little concerned that, to name your worry softly, reframe your pushback in terms of the outcomes they care about, and invite collaboration with, so we can plan for it together. For addressing a mistake someone made, use the passive construction I noticed rather than you made an error. Build an empathy bridge with, I know these things happen, especially under pressure. State your intention with, I'm not looking to make a thing of it. And share ownership of the solution by asking what you can do to help. For setting workload boundaries, open with, I really want to help with this and I want to give it the attention it deserves. Use full capacity instead of too busy. Make your concerns specific and outcome focused. Offer to look at the timing together. And always suggest an alternative path forward. This is Sarah. The conversations you have been avoiding are not going to get easier by themselves. But with the right language, they become manageable. They become professional. And sometimes they even become the conversations that change everything. Go have them. I will see you in the next episode of English Through a Stories. Take care.